What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today we'll be doing the full card breakdown of the UFC's Fight Night Royval versus Taira, the title eliminator for the flyweight division. We are back in Las Vegas. No, not there. Yes, back in the Apex. And this card looks very good. It's definitely going to be a lot better than what we saw in 307 thanks to Mario Batista. That card was shit. If it wasn't for Alex Vergara again, it would have been... I mean, it's already the worst card of the year, but it would have been like an all-time bad card. I cannot wait for this main event. I think it's going to be great for as long as it lasts. Yes, I am predicting a finish here. I think one of these fighters is clearly superior to the other. And let's just dive right into it. As always, we'll start off with the first fight on the card, the early prelims. We'll work our way up, and we have our bets segment right before the main event. I will have timestamps on the description, so if you're looking for specific insight or my thoughts on a specific fight, or you're just looking to fade me, you can go ahead and check the descriptions. There'll be timestamps. Enjoy the intro. Starting off tonight, we have a rescheduled bout. Unfortunately, Chris Burnett, fan favorite. Everybody was so excited to see him. I mean, the guy's like 5'5", and he was going to fight Junior Tafa, who's 6'3", and has some power. I was actually looking forward to watching Chris Burnett fight. He's probably one of the only heavyweights that I enjoy watching. So, but still, I was going to pick Junior Tafa in that one. I think that was a good bounce back spot for him. But, with the hurricane and shit, Chris Burnett had to pull out. So they found this guy, Sean Sharaf, an American-Palestinian guy that, he's training across the street in Extreme Couture. So he's a short replacement guy, happy to be there, making his UFC debut. He's only 5-0. I didn't watch any tape on him, so I have no idea. I mean, he's probably a striker, this is heavyweight. So somebody's going to sleep. There isn't even a line on this yet. I think he's like 5-0, undefeated. I don't know how tall. I have no idea how tall he is, if he's any good. I'm not going to watch no fucking heavyweight regional tape. Like, that's not my cup of tea. So I'm going here with Junior Tafa. I'm not changing my pick. I'm still going Junior Tafa by first round knockout. Next up, we have Corey McKenna versus Julia Polastri. Julia Polastri, she's one of my girls. I love her. I think she's very fun. She's very mean. She throws nasty. She's very nasty on the feet, and she's good on the ground. She can offensively grapple. She has a lot of subs on her record. She is a plus athlete. She's very tough. The problems with her is she just wants to strike. She just wants to be in your face, throw elbows. She throws the kitchen sink at you. I really enjoy watching her fight. But she's very hittable. She does not know the word defense. She cannot stop the takedowns. She leaves her hands down, which, I mean, that's kind of her style, she lowers her hands to draw you close, where she can try to clinch and outgun you. But on her last fight, she got outgunned by Knudson. She's, pretty big for the weight class. Corey McKenna, she has the shortest reach in the history of the world. She has little, not even T-Rex arms, like baby arms, and she always underperforms. She's kind of young, but Polastri is only 1 year older. So, I mean, if there's room and time for improvement, so is for Polastri's. She's a good grappler, she's a good wrestler, and she's a good striker as well. But her reach is just very hard with 5 inches of disadvantage here. She's not a very good athlete. She looks soft, like not a lot of muscles on her body. With Polastri, she has good striking. She throws everything hard. She will, keep pushing forward, be in her face for 15 minutes. I mean, the only concern here, you could say, it's the short notice. But even still, I think Polastri is better. She's a better striker. I don't think MKenna can take her down. I mean, that's the only hole in her game. She should have worked on it. She really lost that fight because of Knudsen. She was just too big for her, but MKenna's not big. So I think this is Polastri pretty easily. I was tempted to go for a by sub, maybe KO, but I mean KO, this is strawweight, so I was tempted to go by submission, but I'll just try with Julia Polastri by decision. But I think, I mean, at this price, how can you not love her? Next up, we have Dan Argueta versus Cody Haddon. This line is ridiculous. I know Haddon looked great. He looked amazing in the Contender Series like a month ago. But Billy Brand, he sucks. He's not good. And that was like a big step up in competition for Cody Haddon. I know, isn't this the guy that fought Steve Vergara? I'm pretty sure he did. But that was when Anwser was like 4-0, maybe 4-1. So I don't think we can take much stock into that. I mean, a loss. At the end of the day, that was a loss. And I mean, there's a lot of hype on this kid. He's young. He's 26 years old. And like I said, he looked great on that fucking Contender Series fight. He has very clean boxing, great combinations. He does attack the body very well. Super technical striker. Has some pop. He throws in kicks in too. He throws beautiful combinations. If he can stop the takedowns, he should win. But, he has never fought someone, first on the level as Dan Argueta and his style. And I think that's very important here. Because he's fought cans, he happened to fought Steve Vergara when, before he was Steve Vergara. And now that we see Steve Vergara, I don't think he's too good. He's not elite. And this is a very hard fight, stylistically speaking. For his debut, he just fought last month. I think the UFC likes him, so I just don't get this matchup. I think this is too much too soon. The fact that he was an even bigger favorite than Jin Matsumoto, who, if they were fighting Jin Matsumoto, if Matsumoto wasn't like a minus 200 versus Cody Haddon, I would put my house on him. Matsumoto's that good. And Dan Argueta, he's tough. He's a veteran. He has had some very tough luck. And he's a cardio machine. He's super tough. He'll be in your face for 15 minutes. His striking, is bad. But this guy's a wrestler. He wants to wrestle. He's very good. But he plays a lot of jiu-jitsu. So, he tends to make stupid mistakes. But he will push an insane pace with his heavy grappling, heavy wrestling style. And he makes mistakes, so he's not that good. But this guy won't fuck off. And he's super tough. He was dominating Matsumoto for a round and a half. And, he barely got choked out the last second of the second round. He went to sleep, so 2 seconds into if he can hold it for 2 more seconds, we go into the third round and who knows what happens. He might have beaten Matsumoto because he was looking very good. So I think this line is laughable. Matsumoto, he's very good, so I don't think Haddon is on his level yet. He could get there, but I don't understand this line. We've seen some money coming into Argueta as the week has progressed, and I agree with it. I think a lot of cash flows are on Haddon, and that so on and so-called sharps are on Argueta. I mean, if you're betting, I think you have to go with Argueta. And even, I'm just predicting. I don't have money in this fight. I don't think I'll have money in this fight. Maybe I put on, like $50 bet or so on Argueta. But I don't think I'll get to the window. But yeah, I have to go with Dan Argueta here. I think he can win 2 rounds by just being a pest and he won't die. As long as he doesn't jump Gilly 5-6 times throughout this fight, I think he gets 2 rounds. So give me Argueta by decision. Next up, we have Jonathan St. Pierce, JSP, versus Pat Sabattini. I think this fight is going to be very exciting. So this is what we want. This is fun grappling, okay? So for all the Marabs and the Bilals, this is what we want. If you're a grappler, this is the type of grappling we want to see. If you want to bring grappling to MMA, this is the type of fight we want to see. So just go and train with JSP or Pat Sabattini, because these guys won't fuck off. Both of them are very tough. I think JSP wins here. I think he's better. I think he's the much better striker. And he's tougher. He's very tricky and awkward style. I mean, both his wrestling is very good. Good top game, great control. He's mean, good ground and pound. Has that sub threat. He knows what he wants to do, and he does it. It's sometimes to a fault, as like he did versus David Onama, like just trying the same shit over and over and over again and failing. Jesus, but he's a better striker here. Because I think Pat Sabattini is done. He's a good wrestler. He's the more technical wrestler. Pierce has a very unique style. Both of these guys are high-paced grapplers. There will be a lot of scrambles here. Like I said, this is going to be a fun, exciting grappling matchup. And I think JSP is better. I think Pat Sabattini's washed. So I'm going with JSP here by decision. I think he's better everywhere. I think he dominates. Next up, we have Carlos Vergara, also known as CJ Vergara, going up against Ramasovik Temirov. I like Vergara here. I think Silos, he's a very tough out. He will be in your face for 15 minutes. High volume striker, good body work, very insane pressure. He never gets tired. Has to look good versus good level competition. He's fighting guys that should just destroy him. He's an overachiever. Everybody says he's trash because he loses, but I mean, come on, he's been set up for failure too many times, and he's done all right. He's not bad. He's high volume. He's a super tough. With Temirov, I mean, there's a whole lot of unknowns. He's fighting in fucking rings, for fuck's sake. He has power, but, his striking is just all loopy punches, questionable level of competition. I mean, we don't even know what his wrestling looks like. He's fighting in rings. What's his cage wrestling going to look like? That's a whole different level. I mean, this is the UFC. What's his cardio going to look like after getting, pressured by Vergara, or if he just goes out and throws the kitchen sink at CJ and he cannot finish him? I think he's done. I think he's going to gas out. I don't think he's good enough to finish CJ Vergara. and I don't think he's good enough. And CG hits kind of hard, so I think Timirov gasses the fact that he was like a minus 350 favorite. I mean, you're seeing on the screen minus 340. I'm positive that line has dropped by quite significantly. You'll probably see this on Thursday. I'm recording this on Wednesday, but that screenshot I took, I probably took that on Monday or Tuesday. I don't remember. But I like Vergara here. I think he knocks him out in the second round. Next up, we have Clayton Carpenter versus Lucas Rocha. Both of these guys are young. I think Carpenter is a little bit older. He's 28. Rocha, I believe he's 26 or 25. He is the shortest fighter in the roster. This guy is 5'2". His reach is not terrible. I think he has the same reach as Josh Van, and he's, I think, 2-3 inches shorter than Van. So it's not terrible. It's pretty bad. Yeah, he's 24. But I like Lucas Rocha in this spot. He's a questionable wrestler. His defensive wrestling is pretty bad. He tends to end it up in his back a lot. He has already debuted on the UFC after landing that lucky knee. You've probably seen that knockout before. If you're watching this video, you have seen that knockout before. You know who Lucas Rocha is. But he was losing that fight in the Contender Series. Let's not forget about that. He has good volume. He's always doing something. And I like that. You know, he's one of those fighters that's going to fight for your money if you're betting. And yeah, he's always active. Doesn't matter if he's on his back, if the fight's on the feet, if they're grappling. He's a good athlete. He has some pop. And honestly, he has a lot more experience. Be it against Cans, it doesn't matter. It's experience that Clayton Carpenter doesn't have. Carpenter, he has good hands. He has very good clean boxing. He has decent jiu-jitsu. And this guy, he is a finisher. Like, he's looking to get you out. He also had a, iffy performance in the Contender Series where he barely beat Edgar Chairez. And he gassed in that fight, so his cardio is not very good. He's super tough, has good top game, great offensive jiu-jitsu when he's on top. I just cannot go with him here. So much inactivity. I mean, his career started 10 years ago. So his amateur career started when he was 18. He debuted. He went pro 6 years ago, so 4 years later after going amateur. And he only has 7 fights. So in 6 years, he only has 7 professional fights. Yeah, he made it to the UFC, but for me, that's a huge red flag. Like, I don't think he's very committed to the game. And I know fighters don't just, fight 10 times a year like they used to. We rarely see those crazy, 25-4 records anymore, like a Diego Lopez. That's not the norm now. But still, one thing. I mean, if he debuted in 2020, 4 years, 7 fights, I can live for that. But 7 fights in 6 years, you have to question he may have other things other than fighting. And with Lucas Rocha, he has 18 fights on his belt, on his resume. and he's good. He's younger. So if someone is going to show up looking like a fucking beast, it's going to be Lucas Rocha. He's plus 165. I think you have to go with him. I'm picking him to win a decision, but it wouldn't surprise me if he somehow gets Carpenter out of there once he gasses. Next up, the featured prelim fight. Nikko Price versus Themba Gorimbo. The answer. Nikko Price looked horrible last fight. He gassed. He has no power, no speed. He's slow as fuck. No striking. Like, he has no grappling, no wrestling. He's so slow. He's old. I mean, his path to victory here is just to create chaos, get lucky, and catch Gorimbo. And he does not have the speed, nor the athleticism, nor the cardio to do that. So he's cooked. I'm honestly shocked that this line is in minus 500, minus 600, minus 700. I mean, I'm guessing this will at least get to minus 500 by fight night. If it doesn't, go to the bank, withdraw all your money, and put your house on Themba Gorimbo, because he's not losing this fight. You know, like, because honestly, after that last fight, maybe the UFC didn't pay him to get knocked out by Lawler. And he's really that bad. And honestly, he was never really that good. Nikko Price, he's mid. Too much wear and tear on his body now. He's had surgery on both his knees. He's super tough. Give him that. I mean, to be honest, I think that's not a compliment for a fighter. That's an insult. He's a good athlete, but he doesn't have any cardio, so I cannot call him a good athlete. He's lengthy, he has huge long arms, but he's so slow. Like, he's so slow now. With Themba, you can immediately tell when the UFC likes a guy, and they clearly like Themba Gorimbo here. This is a layup. They're giving him another easy win. He's getting pampered with these easy fights. He's better everywhere. He's faster. He's 10 times the athlete Nikko Price is. He's stronger. He has cardio he could go for like 5 rounds at least. Nikko Price has 2-round cardio. And he has great grappling. Themba Gorimbo does. His takedowns are not very good. Like, he doesn't time them very well. They're not, very technical. They don't look good. And he's not very good at getting them, but he'll just grab you because he's just so strong and long and lengthy. And he'll hold you against the fence until you get tired, and then he'll take you down, grind you. And he has great top game. Like, infinite cardio for the division. He's tough. I guess he's an okay striker. And this guy has aura, okay? This is Gorimbo by whatever he wants. I think he's going to knock Nikko Price out, ground and pound him in the second round. Next up, the main card opener of D-Rod, Daniel Rodriguez versus the Great White, Alex Morono. Alex Morono sucks. He has horrible striking. He now has bad cardio. He's always had pillow hands. He always gets hurt. He's a good grappler, but he never grapples. When was the last time we seen Morono grapple? He's supposed to be this highly accoladed black belt, tier 4, level 4, whatever, jiu-jitsu guy. He never uses his grappling. He's a bad athlete. He's fat and soft. He's just there to collect checks, He's on a big contract because this guy's always on the main cards and he is terrible.
on his fight versus Court McGee at the beginning of the year. I think that's the new Morono. That's what we should expect. That's the new that's where the bar is set with Morono from now on. There's no point in betting him. He is done. And to be honest, I don't think he was never that good. We saw on his fight versus Nikko Price, the guy gassed out in one round, and I don't think it was that crazy of a pace in that fight. So I mean, Alex Morono, we know what we are seeing with him. He is the underdog here. I don't know how can you even consider him as an underdog play. T-Rod is coming off a loss in a very weird situation where he did the UFC a favor after all that shit that KG pulled, that lazy boy fat ass Kelvin Gastelum pulled in Saudi Arabia. So, they gave him a contract because he didn't pull out. He went through all those bullshit weight changes, weight class changes. So for all that shit that, that was in the other side of the world, whole nother country, Gastelum was pulling on his shenanigans and he barely got the win. I'm willing to let that slide for T-Rod there, honestly. I think I'm not saying he won the fight, but, there's an argument there. He is old. It's crazy to think that he's like 4 years older than Alex Morono. His striking is still there. Like, his boxing is, very crisp, very sharp. And on a striking match, he's still a very tough out for anybody. Like, if you're just going to strike with him, he's a very tough out. Tight boxing. He throws combinations, but he's mostly a jab merchant. Jab, 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 jab. Great striking, but I think what, makes him what he is his striking defense. He has great head movement. He rolls punches. He has cardio, but if you decide to grapple, which Morono is not going to grapple, we've never seen him grapple, and T-Rod has bad cardio if you're grappling, but Morono's not going to do it. The only concern really here is he's already got his new contract, big bag, I assume. He's got the veneers, all the tattoos. So you kind of question his commitment. But, this is a free win. Like, I will look to fade T-Rod, but this is not the spot to fade him. Like, if T-Rod is a, fade fighter moving on, I don't know what Morono is, honestly. I think T-Rod is going to dominate a heavy striking matchup. And I think he's going to win a 30-27 decision. Next up, Josh Fremd versus Abdul Razak Alhassan. Minus 160. Razak Alhassan, he is pushing 40. He is old as dirt. He has some power, but this man has 5-round cardio. 5-minute cardio. He wishes he had 5-round cardio. He only has 5-minute cardio. He has, 7-minute power. If he doesn't win, first round, first minute or so of the second round, he's not winning that fight. These two here are probably fighting for their jobs. Razak Alhassan, he's old. He's like 2-5 since 2018. Well, 5-1 with all that Cody Brundage shit he pulled off on Denver. Both of these guys were on that Denver card. While Razak Alhassan was too busy throwing elbows at the back of Cody Brundage's head, Josh Fremd was on bottom,
not doing anything to get back up versus Andrew Petrosky. No urgency. Yeah, Fremd looked horrible in that fight. Everybody was saying, why is this dude fighting? There were a lot of tweets shitting on him. Especially because that fight was at a pick'em and Petrosky looked like a minus 300 favorite. But no urgency to get back up. He looked like Anthony Smith out there, like he was looking to tough it out, that survive, a moral victory. Oh, I was there till the end type shit. But to be honest, he looked bad. And, he's very tough. But, like, he has better cardio than Alhassan here. I think if he survives the first, he could win by just being a pester, like pushing up against the fence. And Alhassan will get tired. I think he's like 5'10". Josh Fremd is huge. He's 6'4". So on the clinch, I don't think Alhassan has nothing for him. Josh Fremd is the better grappler. He has good knees, good elbows. And, Fremd, I think that loss to Kopylov, I mean, he took a lot of damage. More than I thought it was necessary. I thought he could have just, gave up, and he was trying to be there, tough it out, happy to be here mentality that he has. And I kind of worry about that here, but like Alhassan only has one round. He's not that high volume. He does hit like a truck, but this man, like, he went to a decision with Fluffy Hernandez. So if this fight hits the ground, I don't think Alhassan is getting back up. And for as much as Josh Fremd is not very good, I don't think he makes too many mistakes on the ground. Like, if you don't make a mistake, significant enough that Fluffy Hernandez takes advantage of, I think you're good on the ground. And I know, they're different fighters, because, if Fremd makes a mistake and Abdul ends up on top, he's going to, immediately start looking to throw some elbows and heavy hammer shots. But he doesn't have the cardio. And Abdul Razak Alhassan in that fight, I mean, if they would have let it continue, I think he would have gassed eventually. And who says Cody Brundage doesn't end up on top and takes his back and choke him out? Like, I don't think Alhassan should be a favorite to anybody other than Cody Brundage, and he couldn't get it done legally, at least. So I'm going with Josh Fremd here. I think he wins the decision. He can easily win rounds 2 and 3 by just being, there. Next up, we have Chidi and Jokwani minus 160 versus Jared Gooden coming in at plus 140-ish. I love Chidi in this spot, man. I'm usually not a big fan when fighters drop in weight classes, especially fighters that had no cardio before. But, it looks like this move to welterweight really helped Chidi a lot. Like, I think he's in shape. I think he's training a lot of conditioning, running a lot, because he looked good. Like, he looked good versus Rhys McKee. And Rhys McKee is a fighter that's going to push a crazy pace, be in your face all the time. And he didn't look bad. Like, if you remember his last fight at middleweight, he fought Shake Shack, and he was dead in 3 minutes. Like, he was done. Like, the look in his face, the look in his eyes, he was done, and he immediately lost. I don't think he's going to gas here. I don't think he has cardio problems anymore. And besides, I mean, Jared Gooden, he's not a fighter that's going to... He's super low. You know what he is? He's Kevin Jousset. Like, he's a black Kevin Jousset. He has, that same build with a very long neck. And he looks like the alien from the Prometheus movie, the Alien series. He looks exactly like that, but, a little bit darker on the skin. So I have to... how do you protect that? Like, He's low volume, doesn't have good cardio. He's just there, like he has no head movement. He has too much neck and head. Like, he's very hittable. He always leaves his hands down. I don't think he has a very good chin. He's a turtle on the mat. I mean, the guy has a good jab and decent boxing, but he's low volume. Like, he's not a very good striker. He swings at air a lot. He's bad when he's pressured. You know, he's kind of like the same fighter as Chidi, because Chidi doesn't do well with pressure because of the cardio. So Jared Gooden cannot push the pace, and Chidi's more dangerous. Like, Chidi has those like great Muay Thai strikes. He's low volume, but he's better from distance. Has mean elbows on the clinch, good knees. He's the better grappler. Better cardio here, and I don't see Jared Gooden trying to take Chidi and Jukwani down. Although, when the wheel starts blowing a little bit harder, he falls down. You know, Chidi has terrible takedown defense, and he's a turtle off his back too. But you know, Jared Gooden doesn't have wrestling cardio. Chidi's more dangerous. So like, Gooden really has no path to victory here other than Chidi death gassing, but it's not going to happen because Jared Gooden is going to gas out first if he pushes the pace, which he will not do. He's not going to wrestle. This is Chidi all day here. I love it. I don't see a finish. I don't think any of those guys is trying to, risk it and risking, death gassing completely and losing the fight. So I think this goes the distance. I think this is going to be a very boring fight, low volume. I don't see anybody landing more than 20 strikes any round. So I have to ride with Bang Bang by decision here. Next up, KGD, Grant Dawson, minus 400, biggest favorite on the card, versus Rafa Garcia. I'm not going to waste too much of your time here. This is Grant Dawson pretty easily. I mean, the line's that high for a reason. Although he's a boring fighter, he's looking to get back on track with a layup here. It's crazy that he was on a huge run. I think he's 9-1-1 in the UFC. So he lost to Bobby Green with a stupid jab by making a stupid decision to, he standing there and traded some jabs. He was taken down by a jab there, but with Bobby Green, a great striker. And now, he then went and fought Joe Solecki, and now he's fighting Rafa Garcia. What are we doing here? But listen, Grant Dawson, he is a phenomenal wrestler. Otherworld entries. He has a great wrestling for MMA. His cage wrestling is elite. I don't think there's many guys that I would take on a pure wrestling match inside of a cage other than probably Makachev. Grant Dawson is that good. His wrestling is look at what he did to Marco Madsen. He is the second best wrestler in MMA. He's great. Great control, great top game. Once he locks that body triangle and you're done. You're not getting back up. You're not reversing that shit. He has good ground and pound. Has that submission thread. My only problem is he's not very active, but he's going to take Rafa Garcia down, lock in that body triangle and sub him, or he's going to sub Rafa Garcia. I think the only question is in what round, because I don't think Rafa Garcia has good enough volume or pop to knock out Grant Dawson in the first 5 seconds of each round. That's if they get to the second round or the third round. I think Grant Dawson is going to choke him out in the first round here. I don't think there's any, like, there's nothing to say here other than, just bet Grant Dawson by submission. Probably bet him by finish. But even then, like, he could just, wet blanket Garcia for 15 minutes. So, I mean, put him in your parlays, I guess. Grant Dawson. I'm predicting here a first round sub by KGD. Next up, a rebooked fight. Tavares versus the Iron Turtle. The Iron Turtle is the minus 190 favorite here. And, I mean, the line may be a little bit wide, but I agree. I don't think Tavares should be... I don't think he's good anymore. He's been here since 2011. He has a shit ton of experience, man. He's been in there with some fucking dogs, like the best of the best. He's fought Whitaker, Adesanya. He recently fought DDP. Like, he's a very good kickboxer, but he leaves his chin up in the air. People crap on him because of his fight versus Chris Weidman, but I thought he looked great. In my opinion, he fought a great, smart fight. Chris Weidman only had one leg, but I mean, if you already have the guaranteed win, and at that point, I don't think Tavares was looking to make no statement. I think he's on a pretty nice, decent contract with the UFC, so I mean, I don't think he needs the money. Why risk losing, getting caught? Because I think Tavares has chin issues. He's a great athlete. He's tough, has good cardio, but he doesn't really do good when you pressure him, and that's not good for a decision fighter, which he is. He is. I think pretty much all of his wins are, except 2 are by decision. And that's what the Iron Turtle is going to do. He'll just put the pressure on him. He has unlimited cardio. He's a great athlete, although he may not look like he is, but he's a great athlete. He'll push the pace, and he does everything right. Like, he's great from distance as well. So, that's Tavares is, where he makes his money. And Jong Park is good from there too. He has a good jab. I think he can jab into that here if he wants to. He has better fight IQ. And I think he's better everywhere at this point than Tavares is. And we've never seen this dude tired. Like, he has never tired before. He can push his pace with wrestling. He can tire you there, grind you up against the fence. I mean, does he get a takedown? Maybe. But his trained wrestling is great. Like, he just can control, wear Tavares down, grind him up against the fence. And on the clinch, he's better than Tavares. At this point, he has the better cardio. Both of these guys lost to RoboCop in a... they got finished by RoboCop, no shame in that. But what I want to point out here is that Tavares got knocked out in the 3rd round. And I mean, if there's one thing that modern MMA fighters share, or it's a thing, or we rarely see 3rd round knockouts anymore. It seems that the fighters don't carry power with them for 15 minutes now. So that means that his chin is not very good. So I mean, I don't see how he takes 2 rounds from the Iron Turtle. This is going the distance. I mean, there's no question about it. So I'm going with the Iron Turtle here. Give you the better cardio, the better chin. He's younger. He's a more complete overall fighter. I love Young Park here. So before we head into the main event, let's talk about some bets here. We have first, I only put $200 in this card. It's Chidi. I like it. I really don't have any spots here. Last week, I think we went fight, but still first bet. $20 parlay on Chidi, Grant Dawson, Timber Grable, Daniel Rodriguez, and Pierce. JSP. This parlay, I'm just fading fighters that pretty terrible. So I think given this trash, I don't like Garcia. The price is done. Alex Morono. He's out. That's it. Next, we move on to a $50 parlay with Timber Grable, Dawson again. I love those two plays. Now we are adding Julia Polastri, minus 130, $50 to 189. And finally, Tatsuro Taira by submission, $130 to win 175. I think he's much better than everybody in this division. I don't care how young he is. I think he's the real deal. Finally, we made it to the main event. I cannot wait for this fight. Like, honestly, I think we are going to see the arrival of Tatsuro Taira. I know he has a lot of hype, and rightfully so. I think he's the real deal. A lot of people are saying, like, this line is insane. How is he a 3-1 favorite versus Brandon Royval? Like, Brandon Royval, his only losses in the UFC are Brandon Morono, and Alexander Pantoja. He has some losses on the regional scene, which Taira doesn't. And, you know, Royval's always the underdog in, like, pretty much all of his fights. He was even an underdog versus Nikko. I don't think Royval is that good. And, you know, people talk about also with the chaos that Royval brings. I agree, like, he is chaotic. He's going to give Taira problems on the feet. But I think Tatsuro Taira can do whatever he wants on the ground. I think he's a much better grappler than Alexander Pantoja. And this line reflects that. I don't think Pantoja is that good. The only way I see Brandon Royval having a chance here is this goes into the championship rounds and Taira gets tired, or if Taira just freezes. But this is in the Apex, so he's been here before. This is not his first main event. He already knows what it feels to fight in a main event. So really, I don't think he's going to freeze. If this was in front of a crowd, maybe I would be probably interested in betting Brandon Royval. But in the Apex, this is not his first rodeo anymore. I think he's miles, 10 times better the grappler that Pantoja is. He's better than Royval. And his striking has gotten a lot better. I don't think that's going to be a problem. He has been hurt before, and he has fought someone with a build similar to Royval, you know, someone that's taller, longer. He fought Edgar Chairez. I don't think that wasn't his debut. I think that was his second fight, and that was his first fight in front of a crowd. He got dropped a couple times, but other than that, he dominated on the ground. I think he can dominate Brandon Royval on the ground. I don't think we've seen anything like this kid before. His wrestling is phenomenal. His grappling is, I think he's the best grappler in the division. I think he's a better grappler than Ulanbekov and Almabayev. And, you know, other things I hear about is the chaos that Royval brings. The chaos on the ground and all the activity because of his unlimited cardio. If Royval gets, he starts doing all these crazy scrambles, Taira's going to end up in his back. Like, he is that good. So, I mean, I really don't worry about this. I don't think this line should scare you. I wouldn't put Taira on my parlay just because this line is too... I mean, if this was minus 200, like when it opened, sure, go ahead. But lane minus 300 on a parlay, that's barely going to boost your already crooked odds. So don't do it. I'm playing him by sub, like you already saw a couple of minutes ago in my bet segment. But, you know, like Taira, he is the real deal. He's going to get the bag in a scramble. He's going to choke out Royval. I think he does it in the second round. I don't think this is going to last very long. And, you know, I don't see how Royval catches him. My only concern here is the unlimited cardio of Royval. Because I think he could win rounds 4 and 5. So if this goes the distance and Taira doesn't clearly win rounds 1 through 3, I think we can see some weird scorecards. And, you know, finally, the last point I wanted to make is Royval recently, you know, we know he trains in Denver with I don't know, it's a gym I think is horrible. So if you didn't know by now, Royval recently and a lot of fighters from that gym, I don't know what happened. I don't think the public knows exactly what happened or what's going on. But word out in the street is Royval and some, you know, a group of fighters left that gym. And Royval is now, you know, managing a gym of his own. He's training with some guys, you know, pretty much the same guys. But, you know, he has a gym now. I think that's a distraction for him. And this had to happen during this training camp. So, for me, I like Taira even more now. So I have to say he wins this pretty easily in the second round, takes the back on a crazy scramble, and chokes him out. Taira by second round sub is my pick. Finally, a quick recap. So first, I like Rocha by decision, Argueta by decision, Julia Polastri by decision, Junior Tafa by first round knockout. I think Barimbo is going to finish Nikko Price, second round KO. Jonathan Peters by decision. He could probably even catch Sabattini because I think he's washed. I'm going with CJ Vergara to pull off the upset. I think this guy from Uzbekistan gasses, and CJ gets the second round knockout. Josh Fremd by decision. I don't trust Alhassan's cardio. This is probably his last fight in the UFC. Daniel Rodriguez is going to school Alex Morono, 30-27, easy decision. Grant Dawson, he may be a boring fighter, but I think he's going to find a finish here, going with second round submission. Chidi and Chukwani has found new life in welterweight. He's a completely changed man. I think he has the cardio now. I'm going with Chukwani by decision. The co-main event, I think the Iron Turtle is, at this point, he's so much better than Brad Tavares. I like him by decision. And finally, Tatsuro Taira is going to sub Brandon Royval. My prediction is he does it in the second round. Finally, if you made it this far, I really appreciate you. I hope you hit all your bets. Leave a like. It would be much appreciated. Subscribe if you are not subscribed. Until then, stay blessed.